Hi, this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by. Very early on a Sunday. Literally, I want to get this out of the way so that I've got the rest of the day free. Although it's called a Sunday morning chat, it's more a Sunday morning look. And the first thing is I've got one of my roof racks back up, and there's a good reason for that. It's all change. So this is the new shelves. This now gives me a high shelf and gives me back my top shelf on this unit. So I've now got every plant up off the floor, bar one, that can stay where it is for now. I've got headroom, and I've now got my display area back, and I now have floor space, and it does actually seem a lot bigger in here. Couple of sacrifices. This oscillating fan, I've had to lose the stand and actually fix it in place, and because of where it is, it now can't oscillate, and I've actually got to twist it round a bit so that it points into the center, but minor adjustment. That rack and my cloth has all moved up, and this top shelf will now become my filming area with the cloth behind, so that works, and it gives me a place to put the things that used to be on the floor. My header tank's now down on this shelf, which is plenty high enough, and I can get at the lid to pour water in, and I put it this way round rather than that way, literally so that the front sticks out and I can pour water in without having to get inside the shelf. I've got a bottom shelf, and the idea is there's an awful lot of orchid related junk that's in my lounge because there's nowhere else to put it. So I've now got a bottom shelf for things like pots and stuff to do with watering, and clutter can now be put on that shelf and taken out of my lounge area. So that works okay. So that was the new shelf unit. The sacrifice is the oscillating fan. It will still be a fan, but it won't oscillate. I can live with that, that's not a big deal. And you're thinking, where on earth is he going to water? That structure there is no longer required. Yeah, because that was deliberately built to put a fogger on the top of. I don't need that anymore, so I've moved my little watering station over here. Yeah. My ferns can live underneath there, they're quite happy, and if water gets on them when I'm actually watering, because there will be some drips, well, that won't hurt the ferns, will it? So that works okay. So yeah, things are on the move. Lots more shuffling to do. I've got another roof rack to go up, probably about there, yeah, and that roof rack will be for highlight cooler growing things. I've got a few dendrobiums that are cool growers that still like the light. They'll be classed as cool growers because they'll be directly in the line of fire of those two little fans, which will keep them permanently cool. So that's that. That will allow me to rearrange some of the things that are getting a bit squashed up. All of the plants that used to be on there are now on there with their back facing to the fans. The reason for that is that if you get too close to these circulating fans, the whole plant starts drying out, especially the root area. It just dries too fast. So by having them that way round, they don't dry so quick, and they get the good light up in the roof. So that's better light up there than it was there. So that's good. Yeah, so a bit of shuffling to do. There's a few plants on certain shelves that I want to move to other shelves now. Yeah, I mean, I've managed to get my zygo up here. I haven't got round to moving the other one, it's still buried down there at the moment. But there's still plenty of room for smaller plants on here that come into bloom. So this whole thing will be like a display area, and I can see it from the house. Anything over here I can't see from the house. I mean, my prima donna's coming into bloom now. Quite a few of the blooms are opening. Now, I can't see that from the house, So I've got a bigger display area, and these plants that are hanging here I want gone. They're only there because there isn't any room up upstairs in the roof. So by getting another hanging rack here, I will have more choices. Although I do like my blooming Tolumnias here, because again I can see them from the house. So it's all change, and it'll take a bit of getting used to, I'm sure, and I'll still be moving things around for some time, I expect. And obviously this area here will be constantly changing. You know, as plants go out of bloom, they'll go back into another shelf area and something else can come over here. So this will be like constantly changing, this bit, as plants come into bloom that are put in pots, obviously, not the mounted ones. I've got one new bloom. My Kuniko has just opened its first of what looks like a lot of blooms. So we've now got that one back on track. And I mean, there's nubbins showing on other canes that haven't even started to grow into buds yet. But there's buds on 2 canes over on the right there. And there's 2 clusters on that cane, and they last quite a long time, so that's going to be out for a while. You know? So that's good. It's another one coming into bloom. And yeah, I think that'll do for today. I want to keep it short, and I want to get it processed and posted, because I want the day free. You know, my daughter's down, and you know, I don't want to spend my day out here when I've got a guest. So I'll keep it short, and we'll get back to some normality tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a massive watering day. It'll be the other half of what should have been done today, plus what needs doing tomorrow. So I'll be very busy out here tomorrow. And once I get into a watering session, as I pick each plant up, I can think about, shall I put it back where it was, or shall I think about putting it somewhere else? So it'll be a good opportunity to shuffle a few things around. We're starting to get to the season now. The long-term weather forecast doesn't show any cold snaps. So, you know, we could nearly declare winter over and an early spring as a consequence. So I need to get the cooler growing things, you know, down low, because if we're going to get warmer weather, then the extractor fan and the inlet fan they're going to kick in more often. So I will have that cool air coming in down the bottom there. So the floor space is really clear. The only plant staying on the floor is that one, and I've got a horrible feeling that in the very near future that's going to magically disappear into the trash. I didn't want it when I got it. It was a raffle prize, and there was nothing else left on the raffle table because nobody wanted it, because it's badly damaged. It's never going to look any good, and you know, it's over 1 metre tall and it's still growing, and quite honestly, it's just of no use to me. It's too big to post to anyone. So I think the best thing to do with it, I don't like it. And when something I don't like lives in here, it niggles me. Because I think, you're taking up my time and my space when I don't really want you. You know, it happens sometimes. As I said, it was a raffle thing, and on our raffle table, if your ticket number comes up, you have to take a prize. There's none of this, oh, it's all right, let somebody else have a go. You can't do that. Otherwise we'd be there all flipping night when it gets down to manky prices like that. So I think I'm just going to let that go. As I say, I didn't really pay for it. I always think of my raffle tickets as a donation to the society. It doesn't matter to me whether I actually win anything or not. I mean, a box of chocolates or a bottle of wine would be good, but, you know, apart from that, a lot of the prizes are pretty naff, really. Mostly, they're things that people bring in that they don't actually want. Well, if you think back, you know, if somebody doesn't want something, there's a chance that a lot of other people probably don't want it either. So that's what happens. Hannah was well pleased to see that in bloom, well pleased. So that's actually her plant. So that went down well. And strictly speaking, the Cymbidium is hers as well, because that was a friend of hers that grew orchids in the flats where she lives actually died, and this was Hannah's sort of memory of him. But she can't look after it where she lives, so I inherited it. So I'm sort of forever looking after it for her, and I think I'll be forever looking after that for her as well. There's nowhere in her flat really for that to go any sense. It's just too big. But I can make room for it here, not a problem. So there we go. That's today, and moving stuff around will be the priority for the coming week, I think, and getting myself in a settled state where plants are in their growing season position, which might not necessarily be the same as their winter position. Yeah, so we'll be moving some stuff around. And thanks for dropping by. I'll see you next time. As I say, I'm well pleased with this. It looks a lot bigger out there. A lot bigger. I've got so much more floor space to walk around, and I quite like the idea of, you know, from inside the house, this is my view now, and I can get my, you know, blooming plants on display while they're in bloom. So I quite like it. All I've got to do is fiddle with this. It needs going round there so that it points into the middle, not down one side, but that had to be done quickly. We're running out of time, and you know, it was tea time, so this had to take low priority, but it needs twisting, needs moving around a bit. Apart from that, I'm very pleased with the results of the new shelves, and that's only half the shelves. It was actually a 6-foot tall unit with 5 shelves, but the legs were capable of being split into 2, so I've now got another 2-shelf unit to go somewhere useful in the house, like in the spare room, to stick stuff on. But I'm happy with the 3 shelves here. I've got some storage shelves lower down, display shelf up here, and a filming area, you know, just a matter of lifting off the plants, and I've got a large clean filming area. The only thing I will have to watch is I can't get this wet. That does need to stay dry, which at the moment is why those hanging plants have been moved. Yeah, I don't want drips onto this stuff. I don't think it'll be very good if that gets wet. I mean, I could actually paint that. If I painted that with a gloss paint, then it would effectively make it waterproof. But that's work, if you see what I mean. I can just try to avoid doing that and just keep it dry. I can always keep a cloth handy, and if any drips get on there, just wipe it off quickly. And it should last a nice long time. That's the idea, and see you next time. Thanks for dropping by.